Hello and welcome to Spinster's Library. I'm Claudia.
And I'm Robyn, the guest spinster.
Well, you are the reason that I'm doing this video.
I am. I have a purpose.
Yes. Do you want to tell them?
That's a good point. So I hated reading. I hated the idea of picking up a book and wasting time reading something when I could just be exploring the outdoors or exploring Facebook or exploring anything other than books, which, you know, at the time I thought was a really great thing. But since Claudia has made me pick a book up this year, I've realised how much I've been missing out on. I've got a huge pile of books that I've got to get through and I cannot wait to get through. So we're going to be talking about getting back into reading.
Yeah. So how long had you not read before you picked up the book this year?
So the point that I remember stopping reading was when, viewers, was when Harry Potter books came out. So I think at the time, I can't remember exactly how old I was, but I just remember the size of the books completely putting me off. I thought I'd never get through them. I thought I'd forget the plot, and to be honest, before I'd even tried, I'd put it down. I think I'd read the first 50 pages and saw how much more was left to go. Saw, you know, all the other books that were coming out and the size of them, and just thought, I don't think I can be involved in this huge phenomenon that's going on. And I think that, you know, I think I was almost embarrassed that I couldn't keep up with everyone else, so I decided...
So did you pretend that you're, like, too cool for reading?
I don't think I pretended I was too cool. I think I just pretended that it was too cool. I had better things to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't got time to read.
Yeah, so Harry Potter is weird, because that's, like, gets so many children into reading when it completely put you off reading.
Yeah, which is really bizarre. I mean, I remember when I was growing up, I was really into Jacqueline Wilson. I read every single Jacqueline Wilson book. Back to front, front to back, just everything.
She's still going, isn't she?
I think so. To be honest, I can't remember the last one I did read, but I just remember every time there was a new one out, I'd be the first to buy it, and I was, you know, really determined to read. And then, like I say, it was the Harry Potter books that just completely put me off. I have picked up books sort of here and there, but I think I've read a few books since then, but nothing that's really stuck with me. It's always been books that have just been like, oh, that was a quick read, nothing really interesting. Now that I have more reason to read, now that I'm actually reading books, now that I know what I like and what what draws me to a book, I now feel more confident to go into a charity shop or, you know, to go on Goodreads and actually read the blurb, read the first few pages, get an idea of authors and recommendations, and then any time I go into a charity shop, I actually scan every book because I want to see if there's, you know, something that really, you know, draws me. Yeah,
it's really weird. So obviously we both read a lot for university.
Yes.
But that is not the way to get back into books, is it?
No, and to be honest with you, again, I think when I went to university, I thought I'm going to read so much more, I'm going to have more time, and then obviously realised that it was the opposite. I had no time, and again, I found different ways to escape from, you know, university life and studying, and for me, books wasn't the way, whereas now that I work, now that I've got a busy life, and I am quite outdoorsy, I actually quite like coming home at the end of the day and having something to get stuck into that's just on paper rather than watching something on a screen or whatnot. I don't like watching television anyway, so it was just a better way to fill my time than Facebook.
What's interesting is the book that got you back into reading, because Harry Potter put you off, and what got you back was another J.K. Rowling book.
Yeah, The Cuckoo's Calling.
By Robert Galbraith.
Yeah, so it was actually a sneaky little way of getting into it. I hadn't realised it was J.K. Rowling, otherwise I probably wouldn't have picked it up.
Yeah, I think that was probably the intention behind choosing a different name. Yeah. Because it's not like Harry Potter at all.
Not at all, and I read it pretty quickly given the fact that I'm not in the habit of reading.
You read it pretty quickly, generally.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it was one of those books where I just did not want to put it down. I found it quite gripping. I really like the development and the characters. I like books that are whodunit. I like films that are whodunit, all that kind of thing. So I like the genre. So it was a really, really good one for me to get back into. Interestingly enough as well, from younger ages, I sort of saw books that were maybe 300-400 pages plus being like far too daunting, and it's probably about 500 plus pages.
Yeah.
I didn't find it daunting at all, and I got through it pretty quickly, and I'm already kickstarting into the second, which is The Silkworm, and I'm just loving it, absolutely loving it.
So is this the first time you've read adult fiction, really? Because when you stopped reading, you were a child, and now you're an adult.
Yeah. I did try and pick up, I can't remember who it's by, but it's called Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I tried to pick that up at the end of last year, and I just didn't like it. It was a bit, like, eccentric. It was all about drugs and rock and roll and all this kind of... It was recommended to me, and I think I gave up after I got halfway through.
Yeah, I think a big thing about getting into books as an adult is figuring out what you like to read, and I only figured out what I like to read in the last year.
Yeah.
And I haven't really taken a reading break, although I am reading a lot more now than I used to as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So, have you got any advice for someone who might be in a reading slump or hasn't read for a while and wants to get back into it?
I've always known Claudia to be a reader. I've never known you to not enjoy picking up a book. So I think for me it was a case of, I did have an urge to want to read something, but I felt completely lost as to where to start. And actually what brought Claudia to recommending The Cuckoo's Calling was I was really into Silent Witness, which is kind of like a crime thriller series.
That's how we got into that.
Which is how we got onto it. And so Claudia said, well, look, if that's what you like watching, perhaps try reading the same genre. And it was the perfect way for me to get into it. If I look at the cover of The Cuckoo's Calling, I would never in a million years have picked it up. Never, never, never.
I wouldn't either.
So I think definitely recommendations from people who read and people who have got a broad idea of, you know, different genres. I think that would be a great start. And I also think just pick up a book that looks interesting. Every time I go to a charity shop, I pull something up that I just think, that's an interesting colour, or that's an interesting title. And even if you read the blurb and it's awful, you just physically hold them instead of just browsing, you know, endlessly through the bookshelves.
I do think charity shops are a good place to pick up books, because if you don't like it, you've only wasted a small amount of money. Yeah,
definitely.
And you can return it to there as well.
You can return it, and also libraries aren't a bad place to start as well, Same kind of idea.
And librarians can obviously help you out.
Yeah. And also Goodreads. Claudia introduced me to Goodreads, and actually since being on there, I've not been on there very long at all, maybe a month, and since being on Goodreads I've already picked up some books that even Claudia's not heard of. Claudia's my only reading friend.
You've recommended me some books now that you've bought and stuff.
Sort of works out what you like and then recommends from there. Also if you've got friends who read and you want an idea. Hi, kitty cat.
Oh, she's not been on Spinster's Library for a while.
Spinster's Guest Part 2. So yeah, Goodreads is great.
That's just gonna be in the picture now.
It is.
Is there anything else we should talk about?
I'm just trying to think.
So I noticed that when my phone was broken, I read a lot more.
Okay. Yeah, so you feel like...
You kind of have to pull yourself away from the social media.
Yeah, and so I have actually actively deleted my Facebook app.
That's what those are called.
I've deleted
Facebook
the little square on my phone, that little thing with the F. Yeah, deleted that. And I've deleted many other social medias just because that was what I was wasting my time on.
No, but can you stop?
Get off my books. I was wasting my time on social media, and it was almost affecting my relationship as well, because I just was scrolling mindlessly and not engaging, whereas now I have a book in my hand, I discuss the book with my partner, I discuss the book with friends.
But it's cool that he's reading the same book as you. That's so cool, yeah.
That's another book that he's reading, The Cuckoo's Calling now.
Minervy?
Are you going to say goodbye?
Yeah.
You going to say goodbye?
No. Thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching. Good to see you guys again. Don't punch me.
Bye. Hey, maybe he wants to be a guest spinster one day.
Maybe.
Probably not.
Jimmy.